Hello and welcome to Sportstar Squad Analysis before the FIFA World Cup. I'll be talking about Netherlands. Now, Netherlands is a team that has gone through a sort of a rejuvenation under a new manager. Their former manager, Frank de Boer, was sacked after their early exit in the Euro finals last year, following which Louis van Gaal was brought in. Now, Van Gaal is a manager who's had prior experience with the Dutch national team. He was in charge of the 2014 campaign where they ended up in the third position. Now, under him, the Dutch team has gone on a 15-game unbeaten run. They face some top teams like Belgium, Wales, Poland, and they've won their UEFA Nations League group. And while their attention is on Argentina and Brazil to win the World Cup, Netherlands have quietly slipped under the radar. So we take a look at how the team will line up in their first game against Senegal on the 21st. In the goalkeeper position, Van Gaal has relatively new names in Justin Bilo and Ramco Pasveer. Both do not have a lot of caps under their name. While the major portion of the UEFA Nations League campaign was with Bilo, more recently the nod has gone with Pasveer, and he is the one who's likely to start on Monday. We all know Van Gaal's preference for a back three, and that is how Netherlands will go forward in the World Cup. Two positions of the three are certain in Van Dijk and Nathaniel Ake. As for the third position, he has a toss-up between Jurrien Timber and Stefan de Vrij. While Jurrien Timber has been given the nod in the recent matches in the UEFA Nations League, Stefan de Vrij is someone who brings more experience. He brings a more experienced head into the backline, and I think he also might be in the fray of getting selected. So that is how the backline should ideally look. Coming on to the midfield, the team will have obviously wing backs, given they have a three-man defense. On the right, it is usually Denzel Dumfries, and on the left it is Daley Blind. Now Dumfries faced an injury with Inter Milan in the recent game, and it's still a doubt whether he'll be able to make it in time for the Monday's game. If not, they have Jeremy Frimpong as the backup on the right, and he will start for the team. On the left, it is Manchester United's Terrell Malacia who's the understudy in the position. Moving on to the heart of the midfield, it will be centered around Frenkie de Jong. While his recent form with Barcelona might have been topsy-turvy, his position has been stable at the Dutch national team. The remaining two positions will go with Steven Bergwijn and Cody Gakpo. Both these players are somewhat of they're ideally wingers with their teams, but they start in the midfield for the Dutch team. Now both of these players like to drift out wide and cut in and take shots on the goal. What this also does is this allows the wing backs to make overlapping runs. And Cody Gakpo is a player who's actually been scouted by a lot of English teams. He was the Netherlands national player last season, and I think he will be the X factor for the team in the tournament. Moving on to the front line, the ideal two contenders to start will be Steven Bergwijn and Memphis Depay. Memphis Depay is someone who has fallen out of favor since the arrival of Robert Lewandowski in the recent months, and he also suffered a hamstring injury. But I think Louis van Gaal still favors him to start for his team. Although he has said that he will not make the first team, he is likely to be the first choice in the remaining tournament. For the first match, Van Gaal will select either Wout Weghorst or Vincent Janssen. Both these players bring pace and strength. Both these players have been in good form in their respective clubs, and this is how they are likely to line up in the opening match. Now Van Gaal is a manager who is difficult to predict. He always keeps the opponent second guessing. He makes slight changes and tweaks to the his tactics and formations. But the overall unit is likely to be structured around these players. If they play to their potential, they certainly have the bandwidth to go all the way in the tournament, and are likely to be the contenders for the trophy. Well, that was all from my side, and stay tuned to Sportstar for further updates and news from the World Cup.